Hello, and welcome to a Cloud Developer channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you an updated version of a server management tool called Project Honolulu. Now, this is a server management tool that's made by Microsoft, and it's still in the technical preview. So if you're an insider for a Microsoft program, then you're able to download these bits and actually play around with them. Now, Microsoft has released this tool in September of 2017, and it's been a couple of months since the initial release, and now they're actually releasing some additional enhancements and functionality into the tool that I'm going to show you today. Well, a few days ago, they basically released the announcement of some of the new functionality, and those included things around remote desktop. So now you're able to actually just go to an HTML-based page and click on remote desktop and be able to actually, from within your browser without any additional tooling, be able to remote desktop into a server. They also added the ability for you to be able to open up a PowerShell console also without having to open up a PowerShell window. This actually works through the browser as well. And they also added some additional functionality around being able to manage Windows 10 clients, as well as some functionality around switch embedded teaming and some performance improvements. So what I'm going to show you real quick is the setup process on the clean machine, and then we'll just jump to those updated features so I can show you how they work. So what I have here is the actual Honolulu technical preview MSI package, and I'm remoted into a VM that I created that is going to host that application. And this is a pretty straightforward setup process. You basically a couple of clicks and you're up and running. So within a minute or so, we'll be able to actually get everything functioning. So the installation process completed, so I'll go ahead and minimize that in my desktop window. And I'll go ahead and just open up a private browsing session. And the way to navigate it to it is pretty simple. It's running on port 443, so we want to go to HTTPS, name of the server, and you should be able to get to it. Now, this is using a self-signed cert, and that's why you're seeing this message here. If you actually had your own cert, that you can actually go ahead and point to it. Now, you first have to actually get that cert installed on that particular server, and then you can point to a thumbprint for it to be able to use it. So I'll go ahead and get to this page here, and the first thing you're going to need to do, since this is the first time I'm logging in, is to add a connection to a server. Now I actually have another VM that's running, and I'll go ahead and actually provide the name of that computer, and then I'll be prompted to provide the credentials. So in this case, I'll just use the administrator account. And here you can pretty much use whatever the account that has access to that machine. I'll go ahead and press enter here. And as you can see here, it connected to that server. So now I can go ahead and click on it, and it connects. The experience that I recorded another video about initially in September is pretty much the same. You see on the left-hand side all of the different major feature categories. And on the middle portion of the screen, you'll see the actual working area. So in this particular case, right now I'm on the overview page, which shows me information about the computer, the CPU, memory, network utilization, as well as disk utilization. So like I mentioned in the beginning, there are two major features, at least that are of interest to me, which are PowerShell as well as remote desktop. Let me show you PowerShell real quick. So by simply clicking on it, you'll notice that initially connects, and then it actually prompts you for a password. Basically, you provide the password that you're actually prompted for the particular user. So this will be the same user that you actually connected to that machine with. So you'll just provide the password, press enter, and it gives you a remote PowerShell session essentially. And you can do things like get process. So you're also able to use tab completion. Now, the one thing is keep in mind you're still in a browser, so if you like shortcuts that do things like potentially close windows, I'm a big fan of shortcuts. So if I use Control W to close a tab, this will actually end up closing this tab and this browser session, which means that you have to re-log in and get to this point again. So that's just a typical behavior of browser-based session tools. So here, basically you can do all the different things that you're able to do within the limitations of PowerShell that you would normally have as well. So for example, if you want to write things that would pop up a UI, you're not able to do that because you're not an actual VM itself. Now everything else you're able to do. So here, I'll just run get command, and it will give me all the different commands that are available. So if you want to do things like get event log, and then let's say we are going to want to take a look at the system event log, event type. Actually, let's see. So newest, let's say we'll get the newest 10, and then we'll say entry type is going to be error. So it'll give us the less than errors. So as you can see, it works pretty well. So I'll go ahead and clear that, then exit. And in order to reconnect, you basically click connect again, and it'll get prompted once more. So the other feature is remote desktop, and in here you're able to basically connect to that remote server. Now there are some issues with this functionality for now. This is still a technical preview. So the initial time it tries to connect, it actually prompts me for accepting the certificate for that server. I'll go ahead and hit connect. And as you can see here, I'll actually get an error. Now, sometimes this error doesn't show up, sometimes it does. And this is a known issue. Microsoft is actually working on it. So hopefully with updates, it will actually start working better. But basically, you get the remote desktop experience that you would normally get. Now, the thing is, you wouldn't want to use this feature in the current state because it actually does cause some issues on the server that you're trying to connect to. It actually does something with the logon service on the machine, which can actually put that server in a bad state that you have to actually reboot it to get it operational again. So in this particular case, it looks like it might not be connecting. So I'm not going to get any farther than that. But the benefit of actually having this functionality available in a tool like this is think of all the possibilities that are going to be enabled. So now you're going to be able to actually eventually use something like this, maybe in being able to remote desktop to a Hyper-V VM. So today it actually requires you to have an actual RDP client or RDC client itself to be able to connect. Now with functionality that Microsoft is working on to enable this capability, they might be able to actually leverage that to build in browser based RDC connectivity to a Hyper-V VM. So I'm really actually excited about this functionality. And it would be also nice if that can actually get rid of some of that white space that exists here and provide more desktop space. But I think this is a great way of enabling this remote management of servers. So hopefully you actually enjoyed seeing this content. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave your comments in the comment section below. And as Microsoft is going to be releasing new functionality in this tool and new capabilities, I'm going to be creating additional videos to show some of them off. Now, I didn't show you another feature that is in here, which is the ability to actually connect to a Windows 10 client. I don't actually have a Windows 10 machine to connect to in this particular case, but you're able to actually go here and provide the Windows 10 machine name and connect to it as well. So let's see what else do we have in here. That's where it was. So it's not server management. This is under computer management. So you're able to actually provide the name of the computer here. It's in a different section. So you have separation between managing of your server infrastructure versus your desktop infrastructure. So hopefully this was useful. If you have any questions, like I said, go ahead and leave your comments in the comment section below, and I will talk to you next time.